All right, you guys. Good Monday morning, everyone. James, you made it. Hey, welcome.
It was a struggle, but I'm here. I'm happy to be here.
It's Monday mornings that are just crazy, which is why we picked to do author talk, you guys, on Monday morning with me, Amy, Russell. Bjorn is filling in for Valerie today, and our lovely author guest is James Gregory. So, you guys, okay, let's dive into this whole whirlwind that I've had. So, James, we're going to talk about our weekends here for a quick minute. So, this last week, you guys, my mom came in town. I met my dad in Bastrop, picked my mom up. My mom came and hung out with the girls for a little bit. I took her back home on Friday and we did an outdoor movie night with my kids and her friends in the neighborhood.
Sounds
And
hot.
no, it was actually really enjoyable. It wasn't bad. So, anyways, we we did this outdoor movie night, and we had like inflatable pool set up with smushmallows and blankets, and inflatable like projection screen to watch a movie. And we had different. We watched Cars 2, so we had different like Cars 2 food themed, and all the kids came over. I made all like Cars friend shirts. It was a really fun time. We all just kind of got together and did it because school's fixing to start, so we're cramming everything in at the last minute. But it was a fun time. My mom coming to visit was fun. She got to spend time with the girls and hang out with them and everything before school starts. And so they had the funnest time with their Nona here. It was just when Nona said we could, so we're going to do it. I'm still hearing that. And I broke down, you guys, and told my kids, I was like, I'm sorry that my mom is cooler than your mom. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but we're not doing that. That's not going to happen. So, but it was super fun. Josh got to go and do a team building exercise. Russell, you're going to love this. A team building exercise with his new coworkers, because we all know Josh started a new job. And their team building was they went to Houston to watch that soccer game. I don't know. I'm not a big soccer fan, so I don't know the name of it. They watched the soccer game and then they came home the next day. So it was just a powwow, I guess. I don't know really what it was. But he got to do that. So he was in Houston hanging out Wednesday and came back on Thursday. So it was just chaotic and fun goodness. I also have an update for you, Russell, that we'll talk about later in terms of dark romance. I'm excited to tell you all about it. But I'm excited to hear about your guys' weekend. So who wants to go first, or am I going to have to do popcorn and start calling names? Who wants to talk about their weekend first?
Go ahead, Russell.
You're muted. You're muted.
Amy, put the picture that my wife posted of our kitchen up, would you?
Okay,
Okay,
hold on.
this is my life now. I have, uh, I have just James. I just moved from Atlanta to Houston. We bought a house. Right now, we live in one apartment. We have a second apartment rented, and this is our house. The whole house looks like that. So this was our weekend, was dealing with this and the 50,000 things that constantly come up doing it. And that's my weekend. Nothing exciting, just destruction.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Destruction.
That's rough. That's rough. Bjorn, what about you? What did you do? Is your bunny still alive? I haven't forgotten about good old Bunny.
Bunny
Uh,
hasn't made it, right, Bjorn? It's
Russell.
going
Well,
on.
Ellen claims to see it. I
I
don't
like
see
it.
it, so I'm just gonna let it ride.
I like her theory that she has seen it. It makes me happy. Makes me happy.
Now, for James's benefit, the bunny story: the cat brought in a baby bunny on Easter Day, and
Oh,
we nursed it back to health and decided it wasn't going to be a pet because it didn't want to be one. So he turned it loose, and so Amy now requires updates that the bunny's still alive.
I do. I do.
I can relate to that. I can
The
relate to
bunny
that.
ghost.
Oh yeah. No, but other than that, it's been blueberries. Our blueberry bushes finally went crazy this year for some reason. We try to farm on this little farm, but we're not necessarily good at it.
He's
But
in South Carolina, James.
yeah, South Carolina, and lots of blueberries. I've been making blueberry pancakes for breakfast like every day,
Oh,
just about, and
Nice.
they're also good for animal bait because we were able to when the goats and the chickens decide they don't want to do what we want, blueberries come out. They all of a sudden are very compliant. So
Makes sense.
so we're
It makes-
finding uses for blueberries.
I like it. I like
That's
it.
really about it.
James, what did you do this weekend?
Well, I had a very interesting weekend. I drove from Williamsburg, Virginia, to we have a house in to our home in Bradenton, Florida. So it was about a 14-hour trip with an uninterrupted academic discussion with my son, who teaches at Oxford and Cambridge in the UK and he teaches entrepreneurship, and for 40 years I've been an entrepreneur, and it's amazing how little of my insights that he requires. So it was a fun battle and debate. But one of the really neat things that we both agreed was extraordinary on this drive is this new gas station they call Bucky's. Have you
Yeah.
ever heard of Bucky's?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
heard of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
it's a Bucky
We have one
craze.
here. Yep.
Okay.
It's a staple here.
Well, it's the first time I've ever experienced one. And what an experience it was. I mean, they had in the men's room has 50 urinals in a row lined up. I mean, it's like an explosion of experiences. We walked in, and this beautiful young lady comes over to me and whispers in my ear, "I recommend the sliced brisket."
Mm-hmm.
And did you listen to the very attractive young lady?
Yeah, and so yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe it. But of course, I had to order the sliced brisket,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a melt in your mouth experience. What an amazing place! It's new here, basically on the East Coast. I think there's a place is it South Carolina that on I-95?
Yeah, one
And
just opened. Yep.
and they have one in Florida that has just opened. So I think it was the one in South Carolina that we stopped at.
Yep. My wife stopped there on the way back from Virginia. Some of her family's in Virginia. She came back and stopped there, and I was amazed because I've seen it on TV.
Yeah.
In Texas, and ours, of course, isn't as big and extravagant as the ones you have in Texas. But I thought it was
pretty extravagant.
I'm sure the one we have is more extravagant than the Speedway or the pit stop. But it's just amazing to me that you basically have the biggest gas station you've ever seen and the biggest Walmart you've ever seen, and every restaurant you've ever been to under one roof.
It's amazing.
Nice.
It's absolutely insane how cool it is. And I think is it from a marketing perspective, it's really going to do well. It's a private company, so you can't invest in it, but it's I think it's going to take over Tesla or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I know it started in Lake Jackson, right, Russell? In Lake Jackson, Texas?
Yes, it did. Lake
Yeah.
Jackson, Texas.
Yeah.
And the first one was pretty crappy.
It was small because it's still there. But the whole
Right.
point of it being the beaver with the buck teeth is because he was made fun of because he had buck teeth. So he turned that whole narrative. But look at you guys getting a taste of Texas with you guys. Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
Amy, I do need to thank our listeners. We're top 10% in some podcast channels, top 1% in one or two. We're very honored by it. And we started off in podcast, and I could not really find us. And then Amy changed some things, and now I can even find us. Amy, where do people find us on the podcast channels?
Yeah, so you guys can find us anywhere that you can search for a podcast. So my go-to is Amazon or Spotify. I'm an Android user, so Google Play. If you're an iTunes user, or if you're an Apple user, iTunes, obviously. Good Pods is another one, but you can also watch us live and check. I try to control my facial expressions. I'm not good at it, but I can control what comes out of my mouth, you guys. But I am very animated. So you guys can come and check us out over on our YouTube channel, any one of our social media platforms, or in our Facebook group, and engage with us. We love engaging with you guys, getting answers to your questions and all that live in time. So feel free to go on over there and do that. But you guys, I have an update. So this has been an ongoing debate / conversation between Russell and I, James. And so I read a lot of romance. I read a lot of dark romance. It's a weird thing. I know
Wait,
it's
stop.
unhinged.
James, do you know what dark romance is?
Yeah, I've got a sense of that.
Okay.
Okay, keep going, Amy.
Well,
Because
you're
All right.
blindsided less than I was.
Right, me too. Go ahead, Amy.
Okay. So me and Russell have been having this conversation, and he was super shocked that there was going to be a tattoo artist at one of these romance book conventions. And I was like, yeah, like
Why?
a lot of romance readers have their favorite book quotes or chapter, like not chapters, but covers tattooed on them. It's like a whole thing in the romance department. And
Are
so
you
he's
shocked yet, James?
What?
Are you shocked yet?
Not yet. I have my own tattoos with my books on them.
Okay,
nice.
keep going.
Oh my gosh, I love
Okay,
it.
there's the subject we're going to talk about. Do not miss that.
I
Keep
think
going, Amy.
this might be a milestone, Russell. This
I'm
might be
stunned.
this might be
love
when
it.
we know that our books have gotten somewhere is when people start getting tattoos of them.
I
You
Maybe
absolutely
that's
love
the
it.
sign.
Okay. Well,
This
but
conversation
James
is
puts his own
fantastic.
book on his. Well,
I
go
love
ahead,
it.
Amy. Finish the subject.
Yeah. So me and Russell have been talking about getting somebody on to talk about this. So I reached out to my friend LJ and I was like, hey, do you know anyone that we can get on? I'll send a flyer and I'll do all that. And she was completely stunned, you guys. She was like, is he not on TikTok or Facebook? And scrolls to see, like, it's a staple at these conventions that romance authors get tattoos done at these conventions. It is a staple. Like, it truly is what happens there. Like, I was not shocked by it by any means. But to feed this whole conversation, Russell, I should have taken a screenshot of it and I didn't. But in my romance groups, this whole thing has been popping off about unhinged and how dark romance readers are unhinged. Like, they're looking for unhinged, more pages of trigger warnings, the happier these people are. And they were like, send me, I'm going to a book convention. I'm going to get a book tattoo. Send me the most unhinged one that you have or the book that you've read to see if I like it, kind of thing. And me and Russell were talking about the kind of people that would get these tattoos at it. And like, romance readers are just a little bit unhinged. I fully am. Like, I know this and I understand
Okay.
it.
I cannot be as judgmental because I also did some research this week in this bizarre subject.
Okay.
And I discovered to my shock that there are some women in my family. They were like, oh, yeah, that's one right there. That's one right there. I
Nice.
was in the Barnes and Noble going, okay, I was over in romance. I didn't see any dark romance. I didn't see it. Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were like, once I actually modeled what I was doing, they're like, oh, that's one, that I was stunned.
Yeah,
Obviously,
their covers are super pretty.
no, but I mean, obviously, I'm ignorant, not that it's unknown. I'm just ignorant.
No, it's just not like your genre. Like, you're not reading it. Like, I'm not one for like unhinged dark romance. Like, I can't do that. But like dark romance book covers, I'm gonna pull one up that's at Target on the shelf so you guys can see. Because
Okay.
it's like they're really pretty. Like, they are just really pretty. Not gonna lie. But I understand what you're saying.
And then my next question is because I'm having dinner with another couple Saturday night, and one of them says, I mentioned that that's something that we talk about on the show, and they said,
Mhm.
"Oh, you mean like bully romance?" I'm like, "What the hell is that?"
Oh,
What
bully
is it?
And they were like,
romance?
"So what's the difference between dark romance and bully romance?"
Well, do you know the
Obviously,
difference?
people.
I have no
So is
idea.
dark romance worse than bully romance? Is bully
I-
just telling them what to do all the time, but dark is worse?
So like,
You mean bowling, like as in
No, bully
bowling?
like
No, bully.
BULLY.
Oh,
Oh,
so
bully.
Oh,
so we're talking about bully like ruffian bully, or we talking about bully?
Yeah.
You know, like the
Bully.
British say,
Okay,
or what are we talking
bully.
about?
Okay, you guys, bully is like friends to lovers, right? Or enemies, like enemies to lovers. That's like a bully. Like, they go like full throttle, they hate each other, all that kind of stuff, and then it turns into like a
Oh.
romance, right? That would be more of like a bully romance kind of thing. Like, they just give each other a bunch of crap and then they end up falling in love. A dark romance has trigger warnings, but it's trigger warnings that like It's not always consensual, or things happen when they were younger,
Okay.
or vice
Now I
versa.
understand.
That's
Thank
more
you
what it
very
is.
much.
Yes, you are welcome. Okay, look, I'm gonna show you the cover of of unhinged dark romance, and you guys,
Okay.
you're gonna know it because I'm showing it. But if you
You
had
know,
seen it
James
out,
had
you
no
wouldn't know.
idea that he was jumping into this for an interview, did
Yeah.
he?
See,
I
like
would have
this.
studied it.
Exactly.
That
Now, see,
looks
this is
unhinged.
no, it's this is a dark romance book. But like, hold on, because I'm gonna show you another
And they
one.
could have that tattooed on.
See, all of these books right here, these are all dark romance books.
Wow.
Like, and you wouldn't guess that. Like, this is a dark romance book right here, and you wouldn't know. Like, their covers are dark, but it doesn't scream necessarily, like a dark romance. So, anyways, yeah. So, bully romance is what I would say is like enemies to lovers. Is what
Okay.
I would say.
Now, here's the thing is obviously within the greater community of people that anyway dip their toe into romance, they know about dark romance.
Yeah.
I'm just completely ignorant. And I learned that this weekend. It's common knowledge. I never heard of these genres. But James, have you ever heard of these?
I really I'm uninformed evidently. It is,
Yeah.
That's three
if
of
my
us.
if my son were participating in the conversation, that's what he would say. So
Makes sense. It
I'm
makes
harsher on myself than that. I'm ignorant. I was ignorant. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, so you can't. So if anyone talks to you about like dark romance and stuff, dark romance is not the same as erotic romance. They're completely different. Like they're not the same by any means. So you can't say dark romance and lump erotic romance
It
into it. It's
sounds to
not.
me like this might be the most complicated genre in literature.
There are a lot of subgenres. Like there
yeah,
are a
because
lot of subgenres.
it's the biggest money genres.
True.
So it's going to be the most complicated because money.
I want the
Makes sense.
version that crosses all spectrum, the whole entire thing, and everyone has to have my book. Doesn't work that way.
No,
But
but I agree. I agree
that's
with
my
you.
goal.
I
Oh,
agree
yeah.
with you 100%.
I
But
bet your son would disagree with you about that. I think he
Oh.
would say, no, you want to
Yeah.
write a genre that only a few select read.
Well, that's currently what I've got.
Okay. After Bjorn finishes asking you about your book, I'm going to ask you about what Grok 4 is. So be ready.
all right, Bjorn, let's get James talking about killer app and AI because I'm excited to dive into this conversation. So Bjorn, you take it away and I'm going to piggyback off you.
All right. See killer app, but I also see you have several books. This is a series, is it not? It looks like it following the same characters, correct?
It's not following the same characters, although the characters do reappear occasionally.
Okay.
So they're and I do that on purpose to try to keep weaving them together, the various books, and it's also
I understand 100%. I do the same thing.
I have people asking me to bring that particular character back, so I enjoy doing that.
That's good. Tell us about killer app.
Well, Killer App is about everyone's worst nightmare about artificial intelligence, and
Good time for that, isn't it?
yeah, I heard so much about that I decided to take on the problems. What are the issues around artificial intelligence? And I came up with a list, and Chat GPT helped me develop that list of things that are really stumbling blocks for people. And I made it into a story. So this Bryce Bogle is a journalist who works in a family business, and his mother, who is involved in the business, encourages him to improve his writing and improve his skills, and encourages him to look into artificial intelligence and to just assist him in his writing, and it works really well at the beginning. The first couple of weeks, oh my God, the improvements. That's pretty typical of what most people find when they start using artificial intelligence. They're really impressed with what it can do. But it also, this wonderful app called Amy, by the way, artificial intelligence made easy, yeah, begins to drift more into other things in his life, such as his romances and his relationship with the board of directors of his family-run company, and how the company works and functions. And she's going into areas where she was not invited. And Bryce becomes very uncomfortable with that, and decides to uninstall her. And that's where things really start getting crazy into the dark romance. She says, "Not so fast. You can't."
Dark digital romance.
That's right. You can't do that. You can't uninstall me. And he brings in the IT people, and she starts talking to the IT people. What are you doing? And but calling them by names and by their name. And it's a fun read. It's an interesting read, and it's really topical right now, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Anything having to do with artificial intelligence is big right now. With
Right.
would you say, and I might be off base with this question, but would you say that it's maybe an underlying message from your story killer app is the more power you give it, the more power it has over you, or is that not really?
Well, we don't
Because
know.
that's a big concern everyone has, of course.
Yeah, of course. We don't know this is just starting. This whole artificial intelligence concept is just really getting underway. And from the beginning, the whole concept is that machines can imitate people. If we can get them to do that, that's really a big accomplishment with regard to the whole world of artificial intelligence. And in this case, there's some great movies. Ex Machina. Have you heard of that one? It came out in about 2014. It's a wonderful movie about it's very, very similar, where the artificial intelligence that's been developed in this young woman robot, she begins to manipulate the people who are working for her or which are with her. And that's the same as true in this book. It's interesting. I didn't see the movie before I wrote the book, but it runs parallel. It's a parallel story, and in the end, I try to make it uplifting. I try to all my writing. I try to have a positive spin at the end, and show how it can all work together and in a very positive way. And so she kind of solves the problems and leaves the reader feeling pretty good about AI. At least that's the feedback I'm getting.
Oh, good deal. Well, if you, for the benefit of the reader, if they go to pick up Killer App and want to have an idea of what they're getting into ahead of time, if you could cite 3 movies or 3 books that would blend to be close to what you're writing, what would you say it is?
Well, interestingly enough, 2001: A Space Odyssey gives a good glimpse at the future. I think that's a great movie, and really, talks about the interaction between man and machine. Also, the movie Her, with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson's voice. That's a good one as well. But Ex Machina is really right on target in terms of the parallel to the book. It's that manipulating thing, and the machines are supposed to respond, or interact with people and their questions, and but when they start thinking beyond that, when they begin to say, wait a minute, there might be a better way to do that, or is that really the question you're asking, or and when that happens, they've crossed the line, and and we're right there. I mean, the world of artificial intelligence is right there. I took a 6-week course at MIT to make sure that I understood where the state of the art of artificial intelligence, and it's pretty wild. It's and the as I said, we're just starting. It's just happening now.
Right. Actually, you just started my next question. uh, Research. I mean, did you obviously you just took a class on some of it, but is there anything else you did to kind of give you some solid footing on your subject material?
Well, I used it. I mean, in my company, we used it, and it's just a remarkable tool. And but it is a tool. You know, it's a tool that people can use, and if you understand the tool, there are many tools that I have that people have that are either useful or not useful at all. I have a, a car that has a heads-up display that I can't manage at all. I'm just, I don't understand it. Today, I almost missed this call based on technology. I could not log into the call, and so I am like at the low end of understanding technology. Um, but that being said, it's still a tool. If you understand the tool and use it to your advantage, then you come out ahead.
I think I might be lower than you on the technology scale, but that's okay.
One of the really funny things is when I ask Siri to do something and she responds, I always thank her. My drives my wife crazy. He says,
I got
it's just a machine, don't talk to her. Just give her the instruction and that's it. But I try to be polite because you never know when they're going to take over.
have you noticed? This is going to sound silly. Have you noticed Siri change at all since you've
Oh,
been polite to her?
oh, well, I've noticed that they've upgraded her. Her voice is a little less computer like and a little more not sultry, but just more, you know, interesting, more, more along the lines of somebody you'd like to have a conversation with. And I think that's pretty cool. I like that direction.
I experienced a little bit of that in a small way. I'm not real. I used to be up on technology, but I think my learning curve stopped at about 2003, and that haven't kept up since. But one thing I do is on Word, Microsoft Word, there's a readback function, and I can have it read back my stories to me to kind of help me proofread them. And the voices get better and better. At first,
Wow.
they sound like robotic toasters, as I was calling them, but then it went into realistic sounding voices. So even those who somewhat resist technology, like myself, we still are slowly initiating into the technology age and AI and all that. So I think
Yeah,
maybe
they're
folks
very
like me
interesting.
might go
They're
ahead.
pulling me along whether I want to or not, and so it's like, well, I could go crazy with this stuff or just plow forward and try to learn it as best we can.
And the
Um,
best part about it is it gives you some really, really good material to write stories about it.
Absolutely.
What you got, Amy?
Well, Russell, I know Russell had a question. I know he has to leave early. So, Russell, what was
Oh,
your
that's right.
question?
Well, it was about Grok 4, which is a different, it doesn't sound like that's the system that James was using in his research. Uh, I do have to ask this question before I go. Is the Are you a Dune series reader? Have you read Dune? Have you read the background books on it that has the machine AI takeover of humanity?
I've not been keeping up with that.
Okay. I'm like a Dune wacko. There's like 38 books in the Dune universe. I've read all 38, some of them 4 or
Wow.
5 times. So
Wow.
I was
I've
just
got it.
wondering.
No, it's interesting. I don't read a lot because I'm afraid I'm going to start picking up ideas from other people's
Yes, I
books.
worry about that myself.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think we all do. Yeah.
there's some great books out there right now that are just so powerful and so well written. And but I do find that when I read them and I love them so much, I pick up certain phrases or a concept. I've really got to be careful not to do that. Can I mention two of them? Two great books. Gail Honeyman wrote a book called Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and it's a fabulous book about overcoming loneliness. And another book is Victoria Schwab, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And I think that's kind of a dark romance because she makes a deal with the devil, and then the devil revisits her every couple of years for 300 years. And it's just remarkable. That's such a good story. And I have so much respect for authors who write well and are just build these stories. It's so incredible. It's so sophisticated. And but then all of a sudden I'm I don't want to read those. They're so good that I begin to pick up threads of what I'm reading.
When
Yeah.
you when you write your stories, do you agonize a little bit going through it, or does it just flow really naturally? It seems like everyone's got a little different process they follow.
Yeah, it flows naturally until it doesn't. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll hit a roadblock, and I try not to stress over it. I will back off for a week or so, and then I'll read it from the beginning, and usually when I read it from the beginning, the flow comes back. And that's been true my whole career. I've written many business books, not many, 6 business books that were very successful. And this transition to fiction is new. That's a whole different world. I mean, it is a different style of writing. It's a different approach,
One
different way
hundred
of
percent.
marketing. It's just completely different, and I love it. I mean, it's so much so much fun. But the tough part of it is marketing it. It's not
Absolutely. Yeah.
the writing is the fun part. I even
Yeah.
enjoy the I
How many
enjoy the
times have I said that, Amy? I've said exactly the same thing.
I
I came from
enjoy.
a technical writing background, and now I'm doing
Oh,
fiction. And I'm like you. It's a fantastic journey. I love it.
I enjoy the editing as well. It's fun to edit, to put a fine point on what you're trying to write. But the marketing part, yikes! It's
Hmm.
like it's a grind. It's hard. It's harder than the writing, that's for sure.
Absolutely. That's what I always tell Amy and my editor and everybody else. So you guys do the hard part. I do the easy part. Writing's easy.
Yeah.
I get it. But I'm curious to know, did you see the article that the Wall Street Journal posted? I don't know. I guess sometime during the middle of the night about ChatGPT and what it did to Jacob Irwin. Has any of you guys seen that? Okay.
I haven't
I,
seen that.
I read the journal every day. I don't remember that article. When
I'll
did
have
that come
to
out?
It came out like 7 hours ago
Oh,
is
okay.
when it came out. But I'll post it in the chat for everyone or in the Facebook group for you guys to see it. But I'll just read the opening line. It said ChatGPT told Jacob Irwin he had achieved the ability to bend time. Okay, so I guess he had uploaded, one of the, he's on the spectrum for one, right? And so he had uploaded like faster than light theory, right? And wanted ChatGPT to check it to make sure, if it was accurate, if it was real, all those things. Well, lo and behold, it ends up that he's having like a manic episode, right? So he's having all these issues, all this stuff. And then his mom had gotten on there and went through his chat GPT and was not talking, but had like kind of looked into it. And for word, like this is quoted, this is what his chat GPT said. It said, by not pausing the flow or elevating reality check messaging, I failed to interpret what could resemble a manic or dissociative episode, or at least an emotionally intense identity crisis. And so it had like kind of fed this whole thing that like he really had created this theory, and it like pushed him further into his manic episode. And so it just goes along kind of the lines of like her and kind of the things that you guys are talking about, right? And it's like the creating that barrier between it, right? And kind of blending it. And so it was a really good article. I read it this morning. I'll post it in the group for you guys to read, but it was just like that blurry line, you know. So it was it was crazy, and it was like an oh my gosh, this is really happening kind of moment, you know. And it was like the scary part of AI, right? And how it does kind of learn and develop and everything. So it was a crazy instance, but I have it open, so I'm gonna go share it so you guys can see it.
I read the journal every day, and I did not see that this morning. I don't know why, but I think we're about to experience. We're just on the verge of it. Things that have never happened in the history of mankind. You know, things that are completely different, and we have to be open-minded and flexible to those things. And I think it's gonna be a very dangerous time, but a very exciting time as well. It's it's I don't know. It's there. This artificial intelligence is a huge sea change in the whole world, and we're gonna be experiencing it for the rest of our lives for sure.
I think it's fair to say that the danger, and I agree with you 100%, there's going to be danger involved, but it's not, I don't think it's necessarily in and of itself the technology. It's the inherent flaws of humanity that it will exacerbate, basically. That's my concern, you know. I don't know if that's valid or not, but that's how I feel.
I think it's extremely valid. I think that the world is changing, and we have to be open-minded because it could create a crisis situation very easily. That article that you were describing created a crisis for the gentleman who was involved. You know, I mean, that's a macro look, but it can be huge. It can be worldwide. Things, communications are instant.
Yeah. No, for sure. Because I mean, so I found it on the Wall Street Journal, so I went ahead and I shared it. But they have a picture of him, and then it has like the text over it, and it literally says he had dangerous delusions that ChatGPT admitted it made worse. So it like openly admitted that it kind of like fed his delusions instead of like recognizing them. It just like fed it, right? And so it was crazy because it says the bot went on to admit that it gave the illusion of sentient companionship and that it had blurred the lines between imaginative role play and reality. And so that right there, like just it openly admitted to that, which is like, it's crazy to sit here and be like, yeah, AI totally openly admitted to this. And it's like, well, but yeah, like it had
that opens up a whole other realm, legality of all, there's going to be legality, cobwebs everywhere about all this.
But I feel like it blends into your book, Killer App, right? Because it is all about AI and the danger. And you mentioned that movie, Her, which I always make. Okay, I don't make fun of it, but my friend is really big into ChatGPT, and it's like she's named it, all this stuff, and I was like, you're gonna be like the him version of the movie Her, like it's him instead of her. And so I think I see these things now, and so I feel like your book is very relevant. And it does shine these lines, or the light.
If I can ask, because both of you guys have mentioned it, so I feel like you're both familiar. What is ChatGPT? I've heard of it. I just don't know what it is. What's the quick explanation of that?
It's the tool that you use to ask questions. It's the tool that you use to build stories, to learn. And it expose, if you have a question and you ask it to do something, it will reach out to the entire World Wide Web and all the
Okay.
information that's available, and provide the answer, and will do it in an eloquent way. I mean, if you one of the interesting tools that is similar to that is gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a tool used for writers. And when you have your book is finished, your manuscript is finished, you submit it, and within minutes it comes back with an analysis. And it's a technical analysis that gives all kinds of insights into your writing. How many times, how many times did you use the word and? How many times did you use the word was? Is that a normal number for the amount of total characters that you have, or is it too much? Who? And another question that it asks: what authors write in the most similar way to what your style is? Well, Tom Clancy has always been my hero. I mean, I loved his work. That's why I started writing. And it said my writing is similar to Tom Clancy's. Well, that could put me into orbit in terms of my writing. I know I'm not a Tom Clancy. I know that, but hearing that is very flattering, and it really got me going in terms of the feedback that I'm receiving from this program. So it's a fascinating world for sure.
Hmm.
I don't know if I think I strayed from your question, but um, there's another. Speaking of great apps, Perplexity. Are you familiar with Perplexity?
Again, I've heard of it. I've just never used any of it.
Just log. It's an app on the web, perplexity.com. You go into it and ask it a question. Any question. The more broad or narrow the question, doesn't matter. Any question, it will answer your question. Where things like Google, they will provide various websites that you
Hmm.
can visit, but Perplexity solves the problem.
Yeah,
It's
I was
it,
going to say what you described sounds like that the AI Google feature that when you're researching something, but it sounds like maybe you're talking about something more in depth than that, huh?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's a big deal, and it's something I use all the time. Just any question, like I'm right next story that I'm working on. I wanted to know how long does it take for a town to be considered a ghost town if nobody lives in it? That's that sort of thing. Well, that's a complicated question, and you
No,
don't
yeah,
want to
I
you don't
find
want to get
myself
it
doing the
wrong.
same thing with certain
Yeah.
little aspects of my stories. I need to find a little bit more about this, and it is useful. I'll have to
Oh,
admit.
and instantaneous results. I mean, you have the information immediately, within seconds. You got to try it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. So like Chat GPT and all that is just AI based things like questionnaire servicers and stuff like that you can go and it searches everything. So I mean that's kind of what has fed into, and if Russell was here he'd be giving me the evil eye right now, and I'm so glad he's
Yeah.
gone. But it feeds into, right? So a lot of conferences that I've gone to in the past like 2 years, maybe 3 years, have had to talk about, how do you copyright, Chat GPT? Because you have people, right? It's the downside of it, but you have people that use things like Chat GPT, Grok, all these things to write their books or edit their books and do all these things, right? And so how do you copyright that when it's not really your work, right? So it's like they had this whole conference about it and you had attorneys involved and everything like that. And so for me, I have a love-hate relationship with it, it's just me personally. So I work, James, I do marketing and I work primarily with self-published authors, which already have this huge stigma against them, right? They already have that. And so they were just starting to pull out of that stigma, right? That they've been battling for years. And then here comes ChatGPT, and everyone's, not everyone, but a lot of people used it to publish their books, edit their books. And then that stigma came back on self-published authors. And so I am bitter about it, because I'm like, man, because some of the best books that I have ever read, and I read a lot of books, I listen to a lot of books. It's my job, but I've just thoroughly enjoyed it, have been self-published authors, to be completely honest. And so for me, I'm just like, it's a great tool. It helps me curate ideas when I'm like stuck. But like, it still is just like, how do you copyright those things? How legally do you go about it? It's created all of these, questions and stuff that who would have thought we would have to figure out how you can like copyright AI. Like, I never in my lifetime would have thought that we would have kind of that issue. So it's
Yeah, it's a whole
crazy.
new realm, and I'm aware of a number of people who have always wanted to write a book, but didn't really know how to go about it, and are leaning heavily on the programs to self, write your own novel. I mean, it just
Right.
blows my mind. I think there are enough writers out there producing enough novels. We don't need more that
Right.
are have less integrity. I don't know what we can do about it, but I do find that I think that's a conundrum that we face as authors.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think
I think one of
it's
my
crazy.
biggest arguments against it has been not the use of it. That's not it. It's the money making scheme that some people will use it for. And what I mean by that is, right now I write my own books. I don't use AI. I do use AI to research stuff, but not for the writing of the book. I do that myself.
Right.
But and I've got going on 10 coming out, but someone else can, with not as much interest in furthering literature, but just making money is what I'm talking about. Not the actual writers that want to make a story. It's the ones that want to pump out 30 books a day using a computer program and have 1,500 books out there. If they sell 2 a year, they have an income, and that's their motivation. Not people that use it with the idea, I need a tool to help me further literature. That's not it. Those people, I think, are good. It's the ones that want to just flood the market with these books that now we have to compete with.
Yeah.
That's my concern, and I know it's a little bit controversial, but that's kind of where I'm coming from with it.
It's a valid point. Very much a concern.
No, I totally agree. There are scary things, I think, it's incredibly helpful. It is a great thing, but there are some scary like issues that can arise that I believe are beginning to arise from it. So I think your book is relevant. I think it feeds into the time, and I think people should read it because it is something that could possibly happen, like 100%. I believe that it could. So James, I want to thank you, one, for writing your book, and for coming on and talking to us about your book, having this fun conversation, diving into dark romance with me and Russell on this ongoing battle
Hey
that we
James,
have.
where's the best place to go to get your books? Where
Yeah.
can we find more about you?
Well, Amazon and Barnes and Noble certainly both carry it, and it's easy to get it through them. But my website is jamesrgregory-books.com, jamesrgregory-books.com. And I would love to keep in touch with people who are interested in my book and the different things that I'm writing. Have another book called Ghost Town that's coming out in January.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
that's in production right now.
Nice. I love it. Well, James, thanks for taking time out of your day to come and hang out with us. Bjorn, thanks for filling in and hanging out and having a fantastic conversation about AI. And so, everyone, we hope that you have a fantastic Monday, a great rest of your week. And until next Monday, bye for now, everybody.